Hi guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel. What is up, you guys? I am so excited for today's video because we are going to be doing a really speed review product roundup video of all of the makeup I've tested out this month. You guys, I have tested out so much new makeup this month. It is crazy. As I sit here and look at all the stuff that's on my filming table, I'm like, girl, you really tried out all this stuff? But I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I had the best time trying out new makeup. That is one thing that I love to do. I just love new makeup so much. I love makeup, okay? If you guys haven't noticed. But yeah, so I'm excited. I got y'all. Yes, I do videos on YouTube, but at the same time, I'm also a consumer of beauty videos as well. I spend a lot of my time watching other people's videos on YouTube. I love seeing people test out products, but it also I always want to see them revisit that product or tell me how it worked after their review. Trust me, I read you guys' comments all the time. I always read them, even if I can't respond to them quickly. I read every single one of them, and trust me, I hear you guys when I hear you guys say you love it when people bring up a product that they tested out on their channel and they let you know how it's worked out for them after testing it out. And that is why we're doing today's video. I didn't want to wait until October to do this because I really wanted to keep it organized in the sense that I wanted to keep it strictly with the stuff I tested out in September, because the way it's looking, I'm gonna be testing out a lot of new makeup in October. But before we get deeper into it, don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below. You guys already know the drill. Your girl is almost to 5K. I'm super excited about that. I have a huge giveaway that I have been prepping for, planning. It's gonna be huge. Probably one of my biggest giveaways because 5K is literally half of 10K. And what? I'm so excited. Okay, enough rambling. Let's go ahead and get into today's video. So this is the new Morphe x Ashley Strong collaboration. Okay, so I did pick up the palette and I also picked up the cake liner palette. Now I did put a poll up on my community page asking if you guys wanted to see this, and I had every intention on filming a review on this. Can I tell you guys, I had the worst time trying to get this palette to work for me. I could not get it to work. It just was not, it wasn't working out, y'all. It was not working out. The deeper shades in this palette were not blending out for me at all, especially this shade right here called I Am Unstoppable. I could not get this shade to blend out. So it literally took me 4 times to try to figure out, to get this palette to work. I did one look, took it off, did another look, took it off. I just ended up taking off my entire face of makeup because I just was over it at that point and I just wasn't feeling it. And I just come to terms that this is a palette that's just not for me. I really wanted to like this palette a lot. I also thought the color story was pretty different. I need deeper shades in palettes to work for me. If they don't work for me, then I won't have depth in my eye look. So I couldn't just use these pastel shades without having a deeper shade, to make it look good. So I just really did not enjoy this palette. It was super hard to blend out, very patchy. It wasn't buildable either. So I don't know what was happening with this one. I haven't had that happen to me with any of the Morphe palettes in a really long time. So I don't know, maybe it just was my palette, not sure. And then the cake liner palette, okay. So I don't know if you guys remember this. If you guys have been rocking with me for a long time, I don't like the Morphe cake liners. I don't like them at all. I didn't like them in the Avani Greg palette. I didn't like them in that main stage palette either when they first were introduced. And I don't like them in this one. I just think that this particular palette is just not, it just didn't work out for me. I really wanted this because I thought these shades were really cool. I haven't seen cake liner shades that look like this. So I just thought it would be really cool. I don't know why I thought it would be any different from the other times I tried it. I just was not a fan of this. As much as I really like the shade, the shade selection of these cake liners, they just did not work out for me. This pastel shade ended up looking like white, even though it's a green, it's like a yellowy green shade. I had the hardest time with those two products, but I really love Ashley. I really wanted to support her, so that's why I picked it up. On a different note, I got to try out the Natasha Denona Retro palette. This was my first time ever trying out any of her eyeshadows, and I had so much fun. I love this palette. Every time I pick this up, I have so much fun playing with this palette. It's very much not a fall palette. This is more of like a winter palette, but I just had so much fun playing with this. I love the tones in here. These like mauve-y, like purpley tones are like my kind of vibe. I am obsessed with this. Yes, it is very expensive, but the formula is amazing. I see what the hype is about. I feel like it's gonna be a while before I pick up another Natasha Denona palette at full price, unless it goes on sale, because I did pick up the Love palette that I tried out. That was $32. I love that palette as well, but I really like her formula, and I'm definitely gonna be on the lookout for more Natasha Denona palettes that catch my eye. Let's talk about the new ABH Magic Touch Concealer. Now, you guys already know the struggle I've been on with this concealer, but I will tell you guys, your girl got a new shade, and it is her shade. I'm actually wearing it on one eye today, this eye. I'm wearing this concealer, and then the other I'm wearing one size because I filmed a TikTok comparing the two, but I am wearing it under this eye, and I think it looks beautiful. I really like it. After trying this out, I think this is like the one product I've tested out the absolute most. I've like drained this product out. Like, I have drained it out, and I've finally come to the conclusion that this concealer is best applied with a dry sponge. Like, straight up, it's a very thick formula. It's not thin, so like you'll get a lot of coverage. It literally gives you a lot of coverage, but I tried it with a wet sponge. It picked up product. Like, it just didn't mix well with like damp sponges, but it does do really well on a dry sponge. So that's what I used today, and it ended up blending out beautifully. So now I know when I use this concealer, I have to use a dry sponge, otherwise it won't work. But I am in the shade 16, so I went down one shade. The next product I want to talk about is the new Makeup Forever HD Matte Powder. I am in the shade Tan Neutral, so I have used this a lot of times as well, and I have come to the conclusion that this powder is best as a face powder, not a powder for under the eyes, because this is not a powder that will actually like blur your skin or give you like those really smooth under eyes. This isn't a powder for that. This is a powder specifically for mattifying your base. Like, that's all it will do. It will not do anything else. I think I read somewhere on here that it's supposed to like help blur. I'm not getting that effect with this powder. I just like it best for on my face and setting around my face because it really does help with my oils, but I don't like it under my eyes. This is a very expensive powder. It's $37, but if you love Makeup Forever, I'd pick this up. If you have oily skin, I'd pick this up because it really does help to maintain those oils around your base. So I really love this powder for that. This powder has been a ride, y'all. Y'all already know it's been a ride, but I really do enjoy it for that purpose and like that purpose only. Let's talk about this palette right here. This is the ColourPop It's a Mood eyeshadow palette. I love this palette so much. It is so beautiful. The tones in here are absolutely stunning. I think this is probably my favorite, I know this is my favorite palette that ColourPop has come out with this year because it is just absolutely stunning. I love this palette so much. I feel like if you did not get a chance to get the ColourPop X Kathleen Lights So Jaded palette, this is like your next best thing. This is like, if you missed out on that, I'd pick this up. There's a ton of jewel tones. It's beautiful for the fall time, also the winter time as well, but like this palette is stunning. Any chance that I get to pick this up whenever I'm not using a new palette to test out, I'm using this palette. I absolutely love this palette. So beautiful. And then I had so much fun swatching this palette too because the shades are beautiful. Like, there's some dual chromes in this palette. There's just some really beautiful creamy mattes in here as well. This palette has not left my table. Like, I keep it up here close in reach so I can grab it whenever I need it. If I could recommend any 30 pan palette from ColourPop, I'd recommend this one, not the Bare Necessities, not the Stone Cold Fox, not the, what's the other one called? I forgot, but none of those. I'd get this one. This one's like the best of both worlds. You get your neutrals and you get your colors. Next up, since we're talking about ColourPop, I tried out the ColourPop X Tinkerbell collection this month, and I had some thoughts on it. First off, I love the palette. I think the palette and the Super Shock shadows were my favorite thing in this collection. I think ColourPop really hit it out of the park with the whole design. I love it, and the shade selection as well. But when it came to like the glossy lip stains, I don't care for that formula. It just feels like water on the lips. But not only that, I just really don't like what it gives. I haven't tried the new cream formula from ColourPop, but I'm hoping to try that out soon. But no, I'm not a fan. I'm just not a fan of it. But I really love the palette on this. If you love Tinkerbell, I'd pick this up. This is like such a pretty collab. I think this is my favorite collab that ColourPop has done this year as far as like a character, because there's other collabs this year that just wasn't really hitting it for me. But this one, I think they did a phenomenal job. If I'd pick up anything, I'd pick up the palette and the Super Shock shadows because they are amazing out of everything in the collection. Those are the two things I would definitely recommend to pick up. So next up, I tried the Carnival. Every time I always want to say Carnival XL palette, and this is not what it's called. This is the new Antidote palette from BePerfect and Stacey Marie. This is their new palette. This is like their antidote to all the other ones, except this one's the neutral one out of all of them. I think this is beautiful for the fall time. I absolutely love this palette. The more I use this though, the more I do realize I'm like, oh, I wish we had some like more deeper, grungier tones other than these like greens. Like maybe like a black and maybe some grays. I don't know. When I think antidote, I think like scientific and like the little science thing with the bubbles and stuff. And I just think like really dark, grungy. You know what I mean? Like I just feel like those shades would have been really great. Maybe take out a few of these over here and give us those grungy tones, or maybe some of the greens. But overall, the formula is really beautiful. It's creamy. They blend amazing. Along with the palette, I have been obsessed with the shadow sticks, you guys. These are pretty pricey on their own. They're $14.95 each, but you could get them in a bundle. I think it's a lot cheaper to get them in a bundle. I ended up picking up the whole collection when I bought this. So happy that I did because I love these. I love the tones of these. I think they're beautiful. I like to use them as eyeliners, not so much as like a shadow on the lid. I'm not a big fan of like liquid shadow on the lid. They just don't end up blending out nicely. Then again, I haven't tried this formula like all over the lid, but I have used these as liners and I absolutely love them. They are beautiful. Like my favorite shades, I would have to say, are these two, Honey and Venom, which is like the green and the gold. These two are probably my favorite shades. All right, so the next product I tried out that I want to talk about is the new One Size Mattifying Waterproof Setting Spray. Now this setting spray really surprised me because it's one of those like aerosol air type of setting sprays. You don't really feel it going on your face, which is kind of a pro, kind of a con. I think it's a pro because it won't leave any like spots on your face, any water droplets. You won't have to wait for it to necessarily dry. But it's a con because you don't really feel it going on your face, so you are going to end up using more product than you probably typically would if you were using like a regular setting spray. But I do like this setting spray a lot. It's just a very interesting setting spray. I don't have a setting spray like this in my collection. Like, let me spray this for you guys and show you guys what I mean. I don't know if you guys could see, but it's like air. It literally is like an air setting spray. You do not feel anything. I always feel like I like use so much, but I don't know. That's just how it is. But if you guys have tried the One Size like makeup remover spray, this is the same scent and like the same feel that this one gives. I think I will pick up the luminous one to kind of use throughout my makeup routine, not so much as to set, but more of like to use like, to help get rid of cakiness from powder and that powdery look, because I really do like this one, but I do think that the luminous one is a normal spray. All right, so the next product that I tried out this month is from Beauty Bakerie. This is the Beauty Bakerie Queen of Tarts face palette. Now, I initially bought this because I saw one thing about Beauty Bakerie is that they don't announce when they have new products until it's on the site or after it's been put up on Ulta's site. So I saw this and I was looking everywhere for like pictures on Beauty Bakerie's Insta, just looking for it everywhere where I could see the actual shades of this palette. I couldn't tell from the pictures if this was going to work for my skin tone, but getting it in person, I honestly was super shocked and super thrilled that I picked this up because the shades in here are beautiful. They're deep. Any skin tone can use this. I would definitely tread lightly though because the pigmentation on this is crazy. If you guys saw the video of me testing this out, you guys saw like how intense it was, and I wasn't expecting it. So if you are thinking about picking this up, I definitely would. It's great for travel. It's a really great size for travel, and I just think it's amazing. So I would pick this up. You guys know I love blush, okay? Blush is my favorite thing ever. I love me a good blush. So the next thing I want to talk about is from Morphe. So we have a couple of new products from Morphe that I have tested out recently, and the Make It Big Plumping Gloss is one of them. I tried the Make It Big Clear Plumping Gloss, but it wasn't a clear gloss. It looked milky clear, like it just did not give me what it was supposed to give me. I don't even know where it is, to be honest. Like I don't even know where that clear gloss is. I sat it somewhere and I cannot find it, but I do have the other two shades I picked up. I don't know why I picked up 3. I should have just picked up 2 at least, the clear and a color one, because in case I didn't like it. I'm not gonna lie, this one right here, this is the shade Extra Exposed. It's okay. It's an okay gloss. I don't think these plumping glosses really like give a like glossy look. Like doesn't really give me that really nice gloss unless I sit here and pile it on, and then piling it on, it'll leave like those white spots. Look at that. I got too much on now. I like the other like Morphe glosses, the ones that are like in the long tube. I like those a lot better than this formula. I also wasn't a fan of the Morphe Make It Big eyeliner. Now the Morphe Make It Big eyeliner is definitely not my favorite. So when I first got it, I swatched it and it was so dry and patchy. I just was like, okay, maybe that's just because it was just sitting in this little box, and let me put it on the eyes. It still ended up looking patchy. It kept skipping. There was no pigmentation. I felt like I had to literally color, like really color and apply pressure to get it to show up, and even then it did not show up. But I have seen videos where people buy 2 eyeliners. I think it was Michaela who bought 2. One of her eyeliners was like, Michaela the TikToker, one of her eyeliners was like dried out. She tried it, didn't work, but then she opened up another one, the same one, and it was beautiful and it worked well. Maybe that's what happened to me, but I'm not buying another one to test that out. And it sucks because I love the Make It Big mascara. That's one of my favorite mascaras. So this was very disappointing for me. So lastly from Morphe, I got this little nice set right here. This is the new Jaclyn Cosmetics brush set. It's for the under eyes, strictly for the under eyes, which is pretty cool. It's supposed to kind of like coincide with her Prep and Set collection from Jaclyn Cosmetics. I love these brushes. I think the under eyes is like the most important part of every makeup routine, just because that is like where people are going to really be looking. Like the eye portion, you know, you need everything to be smooth, flawless, airbrush, you know, and you gotta have the perfect brush for that, because if you don't, it's gonna look a hot mess. It's gonna look cakey. And I love these brushes because you have a different variety for whatever you feel like you're going to need. So this is not the brush. Why am I holding that? That's not the brush. This is the brush. So we have this brush right here, which is kind of like a typical under eye brush. It's a lot smaller than her OG ones. Like this one right here is her OG brush. It's just, the handle is just a lot smaller, which is really interesting. That's pretty much it, to be honest. The handle is smaller, so you have a more precise like application, I guess, even though I still like this one just with the longer handle. This one right here I haven't used, but this is said to be a highlight brush. It literally looks like a highlighter brush. I don't really know if this is meant for like powder. I don't know who's using this little brush under the eyes, but maybe it's a highlighter brush. I don't know. This one right here is pretty domed. I tried to use this under my eyes, but I found that it picked up way too much powder, so I just don't pick up this one as much. This one I love because it literally gets in there. It gets everywhere it needs to get. So it has like this weird little angle to it. So you dip it in the powder and you kind of could just like turn it to get the sides of the nose, or you can make it flat and just get under the eyes. I love this brush. This one's probably my favorite. I don't think she sells these individually. If she did, I'd pick up more of these, but I think it's just in the set. And the set also comes with a sponge, which I used today for my concealer, and I really do like this sponge a lot. I used it dry today because it worked with my ABH concealer. Okay, I have one more product that I enjoyed and 2 more that I didn't very much enjoy. So these products right here are from the Juvia's Place Eyebrow Collection. I am obsessed with all of these products. So the brow gel, I raved about it on my channel. You guys already know how I feel about it. If you love that fluffy brow kind of look and you want your brows to stay in place, this brow gel will do that for you. It's beautiful. I love this brow gel. Definitely one of my favorite brow gels in my collection. I love it. The pencil I also really like as well. It's really great. I think it's $12. I'm not too sure. Definitely try it out if you've been eyeing it. And then the brow pen, I have the shade dark brown in this. Oh, I have the shade Ebony in the brow gel and Ebony in the pencil, but in the brow gel I have dark brown, and even dark brown is pretty deep for my brows, but you have to tread really lightly. I do love the tip on this because it's pretty precise, and it is that like brush tip with the bristles packed very tightly. Just wanted to bring that up. The next product I tried was from Milk Makeup. So I did try the Milk Hydro Grip Eye Primer. I don't have it anymore. I was not a fan of it. It just left my eyelids feeling really oily. I have seen people use it on TikTok and use it on their under eyes, and some of them really like it. I'm disappointed by the fact that it's named Hydro Grip, you know, eye primer, and it didn't really grip for me. It just made it oily, so I just wasn't a fan of that. I have oily eyelids if I don't use the right eye primer, and just using an eye primer that's gonna like help those oils, I couldn't do it, so I got rid of it. And then the other product I tried this month was a beauty blender, and that did not go very well. You guys, I found out that the beauty blender was just picking up my product on my face and it wasn't blending it out. It just left the like texture of the sponge, like the imprint on my face. I was just not, it just wasn't working out for me, so I got rid of that as well. But yeah, I think that is everything that I have tried this month. I did try the new ColourPop Plush Like Me palette and the blush stick, so that video should be up next on my channel after this one. So if you're interested in seeing like my thoughts on this, definitely check it out. I am wearing it on my eyes today. All the products that I'm wearing today will be listed down below in the description, so definitely go and check that out if you are interested in seeing what I'm wearing on my face. But yeah, I'm gonna end this video right here, you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.